Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga. So this week I'm here to review Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya. That didn't work out the way I had wanted it to work out. It's been nearly a decade since the final volume was released in English. I started reading the series in 2006, and I think by that point there had been several volumes out already, but I didn't even know what manga was until 2006, and I owe a lot of that largely to the website Gaia Online. I don't know how many of y'all remember Gaia, but I started playing on Gaia, I think in college, so like 2004, 2005. At the time, no one was really talking about manga. It was all about anime. But then in 2006, I don't know what happened, but I ended up hearing about manga or something, and I happened to walk in Walden Books, and I saw volumes of Fruits Basket. And I picked up the first two because I thought the covers were really cute and I was curious. I'm trying to gather my thoughts to figure out what the heck I want to say. This is why I should take notes, and actually, I sort of took notes. I have this little journal that I'm going to start using to write down my thoughts about series as I read them. This might be embarrassing, but I'm just gonna read what I wrote. So let's go. This was the first manga series I collected. I still remember seeing the first volume in a Walden Books bookstore in a mall near the town I lived in at the time. I lived in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and the mall was in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Feel free to look those places up if you would like. They are not special. I'll tell you that right now. I was so intrigued. I bought the first two volumes and devoured them. Wow. Thankfully, Amazon came to the rescue and I was able to order the following volumes as they were released in English, which is sort of a lie. I was able to order the up to volume 13 or so. I think it was like 13 or 14, and then I had to wait and order them as they were released. So just fact checking myself. I remember being so sad when the final volume was released. It was hard to say goodbye. Rereading Furuba, which Furuba is like the shortened title, for the first time in about a decade has been a wonderful experience. I was around 20 or 21 when I picked up the first volume. I was a new wife and mother. Now I am nearly 33. My first child is nearly 13. My second is 5, and I am nearing 13 years of marriage. My perspective while reading Furuba has changed so much. Before, I think I was reading it with the mindset of the very young person I was. Also, it was my first manga, so I didn't pay much attention to details. I was more interested in the main plot and the art. This time around, I was able to take my time and become fully immersed in the world of Furuba. I got to become better acquainted with the secondary characters who are just as important as the main cast. And that is something that really stood out to me because I remember on my first read, I didn't care at all about any of Yuki's school friends. By the way, I'm talking about this assuming that y'all have read Fruits Basket. I'm trying not to really give spoilers just in case, but I think that those of y'all who have read the series, y'all know who I'm talking about. When Yuki is slowly learning how to get out of his shell and relate to people, he makes a new group of friends because he joined the student council. And I remember hating all of those characters. I was so irritated because I didn't care about them. I wanted to see more of his dynamic with his family and with Toru. And now, after I read it this second time, I'm realizing that those characters were very important to Yuki's development as a person, and I appreciate them so much more. And also, I liked them. I liked their personalities, and I was like, wow, Aisha, you were really mean to them back then. I'm glad that I reread this and was able to realize just how important every single character is in the story, even the ones who seem like they don't really have that much of a place. I'm even thinking about certain people within the Soma family who seem like secondary characters, but you eventually find out that they play a much bigger part in the dysfunction of that family than they seemed. It's just, the second read through was everything. Also, this time I was reading through the eyes of a seasoned mom. This definitely colored my opinion of certain characters and their actions. I can't imagine being like Ren, Akito's mother. I am so sorry that I keep losing light. You know, I'm gonna adjust. Hold on, I'll be right back. Ooh, no. Okay, hopefully this is better. Where was I? I can't imagine being like Ren, Akito's mother, or really like most of the Soma parents. Most of them made some truly awful decisions. Some seemed to try to redeem themselves, others not so much. And I honestly was... the way some of the parents behaved was just heartbreaking. I can't even imagine doing and saying some of the things that some of these parents had done and said to their children. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I haven't called my kids outside their names a couple times when they get on my nerves. But I would hope that I would have the, I guess, the goodness within myself to not just completely tear my children down. Woo, some of those parents, I was like, y'all are trash. Trash. Anyway, final page. Honestly, I can't think of much I don't love about this series. Well, maybe the age gaps between a few of the couples / potential couples. I'm just not a huge fan of age gap couples featuring one person in middle / high school. So when I wrote that, I was thinking specifically about Toru's parents. I had forgotten that there was an age gap between them. I want to say it was an 8-year age gap, which if you're talking about two adults, 8 years is not that bad. Toru's mom, I don't think she went to high school. So she was still in middle school when she met Toru's dad. I want to say she's probably like maybe 15. I'm thinking probably 15, maybe 16 at the oldest. Toru's dad was like a student teacher. And that's something else that bothered me. It's not so, the age gap, yes, but also the student teacher thing. I'm not a fan of student teacher romances. I mean, now if you're in college, even then, I'm not a fan, but at least if you're in college, you're 18 plus and you can legally make decisions. You can legally consent under 18. Teacher, no, not a fan at all. But I'm willing to overlook that aspect of Furuba because it's so wonderful otherwise. So yeah, I give it a pass because everything else about this story is amazing. The age gap. Oh, there's one other age gap. I forgot. There's an age gap possible. There's an age gap romance between one of Toru's friends. Her nickname is Uotani, I think is her name, and one of the Soma men, and I don't remember. He's in his 20s. Another age gap, another high school student with a grown man. The way it's written, it's very wholesome. Like nothing inappropriate happens, but again, just I always wonder, like what would I want with a person that's in high school? Like nothing. That's what, nothing. Anyway, this series highlights themes like self-love, self-acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, love of all kinds, including like romantic, familial, platonic. But I think the main theme, or the main thing that you should take away from the story, is that our relationships shape who we are and who we can or will be. Love and allow yourself to be loved. Our relationships can act as a mirror to allow ourselves to see ourselves, and they can help us change for the better. They can help us to accept ourselves, or on the other hand, they can also help tear us down. Toru ended up being the person who truly accepted everyone as they were, and because she accepted everyone as they were, it encouraged them to accept themselves. Whereas on the other hand, you have Akito. She was never allowed to accept herself, and so therefore she couldn't allow other people to accept themselves. And that's what happens when you are not shown acceptance, when you're not shown love. How can you expect to love and accept yourself, and how can you expect to love and accept others? So it's this big circle. You know, a lot of people talk about how you can't love other people until you love yourself, but I don't really agree with that. I think you have to be loved in order to love yourself, in order to love others. It's this big circle, and the thing is that we all just need to love. Just love. Just show love. All we need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is just a game. I was made for loving you. Anyway. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. Fruits Basket is about love. It's about self-acceptance. It's about just the power of friendships, and I love it. It's wholesome and sweet. It does get a little dark at times. It does get a little over the top, but that's also, I love it. I just love this series so much, and I'm so glad that I've kept it for all of these years. I do know that there is a sequel series currently out, or is it done? I'm not sure, but it's called Fruits Basket Another. Definitely going to get that. I think it focuses mostly on the children of like Toru and the rest of the Somas, I'm assuming. So I'm definitely going to be getting my hands on that. I also heard that the anime is getting a reboot in 2019. I will be honest, I tried watching the anime some years back and I did not like it. I think I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but I didn't like Yuki's voice. It didn't match with the Yuki that I had in my head. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about this series. I thought about doing a breakdown of like the characters and talking about who is my favorite, but in all honesty, I appreciate all of them for who they are, and I accept them and I love them for who they are. Even Akito. I had so much fun rereading this, and it's definitely encouraged me to do some more rereading. I kind of want to reread, where are you? Here we go. I kind of want to read Ouran High School Host Club. Not anytime super soon, because I have quite a few unread titles that I need to get to. So anyways, that's really all I have to say now. I'm seriously done. So thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.